What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 41. Woo!
Wow.
We're almost to
One
the
more
answer
and it'll
to
be the
life.
answer to life.
Yep. The universe and everything.
Yes.
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 Yes. If you
Yep.
don't know that reference, go check out Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
If you don't know that reference, you have a week to read the works of Douglas Adams. I believe in you.
They're quick reads. They're not that big of books, so, go check them out. Well, I have the individual ones, too.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
put them all
no,
together.
like the
Yeah.
compiled hardbound is
Yes.
pretty...
That's a little big.
That's
Start
the
with first
version
one.
I worked my way through.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, welcome. This one is a pre-taped episode, so if you're in the live chat and we're not replying, don't worry. It's not because anything of us towards you. It's the magic of technology. But
Hello from
please,
the past.
it's time travel.
Ooh.
But still, leave comments down below. The live chat does show up later, so other people can
Yes.
still interact and see it, and you can interact with each other, which is awesome.
Yes.
There we go. I'm Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
Yes. And so you can check that information out. We'll do that again at the end, so don't worry in case you missed it.
Because this is pre-taped, we are not going to have most of our weekly segments that hinge on weekly news, so the Overwatch is going to be a week and some change behind next time we record, and that's life. We don't have much news that's happened between our last tape time and this one. For those of you who missed it, what we do have in terms of news, for the Fortnite players out there, Dragon Ball Super characters have dropped in Fortnite. So if you ever wanted to be Goku in Fortnite, have fun, you guys.
Now's your time. Yes.
Now I've
seen those on social media.
Now you can do a Kamehameha in Fortnite, because why wouldn't you want to? So yeah, enjoy that particular patch. It's going to be good.
Good and time. If you have tried it out, let us know what you've thought of that process so far.
Yeah.
And now it's definitely been after the weekend, and maybe it's been, after the cheap Tuesdays. Sometimes if you're on a budget, if you've seen the film yet, let us know your thoughts on that down below. We posted some pictures on the FANVERSATION Twitter. So those were some fun our experience at the premiere, which was super fun.
And I will probably be going to see the movie again because I enjoyed it. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Theater crowds, man. Theater crowds. For those of you who feel safe doing the thing, theater crowds are fun.
Yes. So as we were saying, this is a more streamlined episode. So we're going to get right into Overlord. Woo! So now we are on episodes 5 and 6. We're doing 2 in case you are new. We are doing 2 at a time until we catch up. So no spoilers past episode 6, or if you're reading
the light novels.
Yeah.
So. Also, we should be caught up next week, which is great and also terrible, because this is one of those shows where I'm like, where's the next episode? Gimme.
Yes.
Very bad at waiting, because I love this show so dang much.
So I loved the episode 5 is like our two kind of head people kind of like one-upping each other, like, oh yeah, well this
this little scene at the beginning with Demiurge and Albedo, because on the one hand, they work together and they work well together. On the other hand, it's like, well, the boss likes me the most, and he would just Demiurge being straightforward with, well, I wanted to talk to him personally so I could get some praise for my efforts. Yeah. Like, I want to feel good about things. Yeah.
I mean, straightforward, to the point.
And I mean, all of the other Guardians are going to understand this too, because did I do good? And usually it's like, yeah, you did good. And they can be like, yes. So just this whole, well, he's not here. And also, I think he's disappointed in you. Like, were you planning on making the Empire a vassal state? Because I think he thinks your plans are taking too long and that you're not straightforward enough, because he just went and did it himself and it took like 3 days. Poor Demiurge over here like,
yeah.
And the cutting back to Ainz going, well, I'm going to have them take care of it because it'll get done and they'll know what to do with it. Like, not even realizing that it was a power play.
And it's more entertaining to watch because both of those two characters, Albedo and Demiurge, are strong characters. They're not like the lower level, not that the lower level staff are lower, but you know, they are definitely top of the food chain, and seeing them try to, oh yeah,
it's not quite it's not quite mom and dad are fighting. It's more like these are the top, again, like you said,
they're the
top
eldest
of the food
siblings.
chain.
Yeah,
it's like, and they know it, so they can do a little, hey, he likes me better.
Yeah,
just a little bit of that
mom
off
and dad
and
said about me. Yeah, yes.
Well, dad said he was proud of me, and you didn't take the trash out, so he did it himself. I think he's disappointed.
Yeah, it's very petty, but I kind of loved it.
Oh, it's amazing. And then just the littlest bit of he might be disappointed is enough to make any of them go,
it's the end of the world. Woo! Yeah,
I love it. I love poor Demiurge. And also, they're going to do something that's going to have Ainz coming back and going,
I'm like,
what? Just like, okay, that escalated quickly. I just asked you to handle some paperwork. What happened? It's like, well, obviously you were, you thought my plans were going too slowly and I wasn't forward enough, which is why you went to the Empire. So I bumped things up a notch. And it's just like, oh God.
Yes, it's one of those well-laid plans never quite go as you plan.
Again,
but they're not very well-laid plans.
Imposter syndrome, but real, continues to be the best description I've heard of Ainz. Just amazing.
Yes. But I would say his next bit here, where we see him doing the plan to go meet the dwarves and actually want to talk to them and possibly be allies, is a smart and well thought out plan. And also how he is telling Kolkatis, like, whoa. It's okay if people speak to me a little disrespectfully. It's okay.
Cocytus is my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
I love Cocytus.
I thought you would love that too, where he's like, how dare you question him and ask. And so, being your favorite, what did you think of the sit on me segment,
honestly,
the bench?
I'm rewatching the show starting from the beginning, and I'm most of the way through season 1 over actually the past 2 days. It's a very, when you have nothing else going on with your evening, it's a very fast rewatch. The sit on me thing was initially one of those, like, this show was a lot more horny on Maine at the beginning, and they've toned that down quite a bit, which I really appreciate. But there was also a bit way at the beginning, and the bit that made me be like, oh no, he's my favorite, this guy, with them talking about, oh, well, Ainz might need a successor someday, and Cocytus having this moment of, what if he calls me uncle, and he can ride on my shoulders? And for me, like, that's what this came back around to. Like, I don't think Cocytus ever forgot about that. And so he's very much thinking about, one day I will carry Lord Ainz's heir on my shoulders, and it'll be great. So, like, that's what I'm thinking of there.
Yeah, it was one of those that it bordered on the, excuse me, what?
Oh, absolutely.
What? I love that. But then also, so I can take care of the future version, Ainz also going, the what?
The what now? This was a conversation you guys had without me, and I haven't been privy to it.
It was very funny, though, because this is an example, like, I normally very, very, very rarely, if ever, enjoy awkward humor where we're going to put a character in an awkward situation and laugh at them, because normally you're laughing at their expense and it's just not funny and it just seems kind of cruel. But this was amusing because this character 100% is like, I want to do this activity.
Oh, yeah.
And Ainz is, whoa, we are not on the same page. And even shouts here, like, what? Better than me?
Excuse you, I was an amazing seat? Okay. Just,
and how that, like, metaphor and parallels to it being a more kinky thing is funny too, because it's like, sit on me, and you're just like,
I love that this is just
skirting that edge.
There's just this list of weird things that the Four Guardians do that it makes perfect logical sense to them, and Ainz is over here like, what the fuck is happening? And that this is one of them now, and I find it hysterical that it came back around at all, let alone like this with Cocytus. Just like one of those, hey, remember 2 seasons ago when this occurred? We're bringing it back for humor with the one that you would least expect. Like, oh, I'm here for this. Just all the lizard men going, nobody say a word. Also the bit with like the little baby.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to take your baby, but it is kind of rare. If you have like, a lot of them, maybe I will. I'm like,
it's like, lady, I'm not going to take your baby. Well, maybe if you had like 4 of them, I'd take one, but like, I'm not going to take that one. It was just one of those like, this is such a weird bit, and I honestly love this really weird bit. Yes. Like, we got some plot with the lizard men and we're taking one of them with us, but also like this entire interaction, this whole sequence of interactions has been nuts, and I'm here for it.
Yes, we meet our Zen Baru, who is our lizard guide, who respect the dude who goes, do you actually just want to be friends? Like, you're not going to do anything wrong because they really helped me out. So I don't want to be disrespectful. I appreciated that. And then Aang's going, oh, no, we're good. Like, just friendly interaction here.
And again, this is on the back of 2 episodes ago, last episode, where we got his inner monologue going, boy, it is refreshing to get disagreement like that. So this was probably another instance of, oh no, I like that he thought of that. I like that he pointed that out. Like, no, we're here for it. It's like, hey, just forget anything he says here. We're going to have a really frank conversation and it's going to be fine.
Yep. No problems there. Yeah. And then speaking of interesting conversation, because there's 2 times where it goes down. What did you think of Aura and Sheltier about like Sheltier doing her personal growth, and Ains wants this to be an opportunity for her to get self-confidence?
Again, some of this is from the lens of I'm doing a rewatch right now, the earlier seasons. I never liked Sheltier in the earlier seasons, like at all.
Okay.
She was one of those, oh, it's you. Please get off the screen. So just the marked difference between season 1 Sheltier and who we have now, who's been through some things, who's made some mistakes, and who is doing her best to learn from them. The fact that she's not just the egotistical wild child that she was earlier and is now like, no, I do want to learn. I do want to do better. I'm going to prove my worth. I like this development a lot for her. And I like that, like in the early seasons, we had these 2 bickering and, oh, it's because their makers were siblings and they kind of put that into their programming. But the flip side of being siblings is you help each other out. You're there for each other. Like if you have a good relationship with your siblings, and I understand that not everyone does, this doesn't always apply to everyone, etc. But here, like, yeah, you give each other grief all day long. But at the end of the day, when something goes down, like you help each other out. And I love that we got the giving each other grief part of the equation earlier on, loudly, frequently, etc. And this is definitely the other half of being siblings. The, you need a hand up. You need some help figuring stuff out. All right, let's sit down. Let's get it sorted. Let's go. And even Aura going, it feels like I've gotten a little sister. What? I already have a little brother. I didn't ask for a little sister, but here we are, I guess.
But I really like Aura's character because she, she wants to help out too, because it's I know you're taking notes. I appreciate that. Great plan. But maybe think about what are the intentions behind what's said. You don't have to write, because she is like, I will write everything down. It's like, let's just take a breath, take a step back, think about it. And it's just like cute guidance of it with like also the, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like, okay, take a minute, figure it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I love Aura and Mare. Yeah. They're good. They're good.
What did you think when we get to see the dwarf city all empty? Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, there's no way it was going to be easy.
No.
And this is, let's be real, this is not the first time in fiction where it's like, oh, we're going to go to a city of the dwarves. Where did they all go? Like, well, instead of a dragon taking over, we have angry wolf man, I guess.
Yeah, I was saying wolf rats because they had those skinny tails.
Kind of. It's like
yeah.
quagga or something.
Yeah. Quaggoa. I thought it was more like
quagga.
Yeah. Quagga.
Quagga. Man.
I liked them
wild
though.
Names up in here. It was fun character designs, and now that we've kind of seen them, it's like, oh, looking at the one in the opening, oh, you're the pack leader. You're the okay. We're gonna have to deal with you at some point.
Which they mention later that we don't see, so it's like,
definitely the one pictured in the opening.
Yeah.
And just the whole bit about like, oh yes, their hides are very tough, and if they have different colored fur, they're even tougher. And I'm like, okay, video game enemies. Just straight up video game enemies. If it has a different color palette, it's a different level of difficulty, or it does something different. Like, that has been the case from like the Dragon Quest days. Way back when.
I feel I've seen it come and go. What do you think, side note on it, what do you think is a computer animation style in this show? Because sometimes when they're doing like multitudes of characters like this, it's like the more computerized style, which I get because it's probably cheaper and faster.
Oh God, yeah.
Sometimes it's weird though. Sometimes I don't mind. Certain characters it works better.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we've gotten it as much with some of our main characters. We tend to get it more when we have like, I don't think the Death Knights have ever been traditionally animated. I think they have always been CG. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, it works with the Death Knights. We've got it with the Quagga. We've got
some of the soldiers, like with the armies. Yeah. When there were
so it works really well when it's a metric ton of people. There was a bit with the Death Knights fighting just like a dozen Quagga where they were just standing there. And I'm like, waiting to be slaughtered. And I'm like, and this, I think, is where we hit the limitations of it. Like, it works great for crowds. It works great for, we have 50 of these things. Let's just do 5 or 6 different animations and randomly pattern them. Like, it works really great for stuff like that. But when you've got the attention there and it's just like 6 of them and none of them are really moving like they should be, it's like, okay, that's when you see the limitations of the form. I don't see a problem with it. They, generally speaking, used it better than some seasons of Attack on Titan. But like...
And I think it blends into the show that you get used to it, but just sometimes there are moments where it stands out a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. But like, I think if they ever traditionally animated a Death Knight, I would be extremely thrown off. Like, how would they even... Like, yes, we know what they'd look like in 2D, but it would just be this weird, like...
No, them definitely with all the like swirly stuff going around or whatever.
Yeah, and like the rags on the bones and the like, no. Animating a Death Knight by hand is just like, that's an exercise in, I wouldn't say frustration. That's why your animators are sleeping under their desks. Like, that's not a good thing. So I'm here for, like, if the CGI doesn't look as great, that's fine. I'm here for it, especially if it means that animators get to do things like go home for meals and sleep in their own beds. Yeah. So just from a consumption standpoint, it gets a little weird sometimes, but from understanding why they would use it and when they would use it, like, go for it, man. Let's do it. I'm here for it.
What do you think then of I love the Shaltir trying to get them to talk. So when she fights and she's able to grab all of them, and then also, let me use charm. And I will tell then, okay, I'll tell you everything.
Oh, this is some straight up D&D spell stuff.
But also as a vampire, I feel vampire and charming seems pretty common. But it was funny to watch her do it.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen her do it before with the charm someone and get information out of them. But yeah, just going from, we're not going to tell you anything. So, hey, we're friends. Let's gossip a little. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And just we skipped over Gondo. Can we talk about Gondo?
No, that was the last one I was going to say.
The fact that my dude's name is Gondo Firebeard, like, 1, I'm here for it. 2, there is a pattern of Ainz asking people that he finds useful, like, will you sell me your soul? And them going, you know what? Yeah. And then so far, things have turned out really great for people when Ainz owns their souls. So I'm kind of hoping that that'll be the case with Mr. Firebeard over here, because I
Do you
like
feel
him.
that's literal or metaphorical?
Metaphorical.
I'm like, sorry, I have speaking of a critter, come here.
Yeah, your pupper?
Yeah. She goes, excuse me.
Yeah, no,
I
I
thought
don't
it
think
was very...
Yeah.
I thought it was very amusing where I didn't think it was literally like, I'm going to own, this is our troublemaker. This is our quagua. I didn't think it was like literally, I need your soul, but it was more that you're going to come live with me and work for me. So
yeah,
in a way, because it's not like he does anything with souls, does he?
Not really. Like we've got some death magic, but we've never really had any conversations about like soul magic, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And that's not something I think that video game mechanics would really work with. So I don't think that's...
I think it was more just being dramatic because it was just, you want my soul?
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Absolutely. Wait, you only need my soul to save this art form, this smithing form that is dying out? Yeah, take it. Save my lineage. Save the lineage of my people. Let's go. Let's go.
And I liked Aura talking with him too of, so really I see you anyways. Can you just like come out from your invisibility cloak? It doesn't really do anything.
And just like, and I feel like this speaks to, again, Gondo's character, where the first time Ein shows up, he freaks out and then grabs Aura and tries to run. Like, it's not just him saving himself. It's like, nope, this is a child in a cave full of monsters. Save the child.
Yes. He's so cute. If we need to go, okay. But it makes sense. Like, I don't think they encounter... Well, something that's come up, I guess, a couple times. I don't think there's many speaking undead and good undead. So, of course, everyone always is like, and run away.
Because season 1, the whole plot was like, we're going to raise a bunch of undead. We don't have the power to control the amount of undead we're raising, so we're just going to, like, send them into the city, kill a bunch of people. It's going to be great. So, like, I don't think there is a lot of high-level necromancy or high-level undead creatures just kicking it in this world.
So they're a bit surprised. Yeah. So I found that fun. And I like that he goes, that's pretty bad of your masters and people in charge of you to send a child.
Yeah. It's like,
I know
the
like
adults in your party shouldn't have sent a kid into a monster-infested cave. Like, y'all okay? Mm-hmm. So, and then later on in the next episode, we get we're going to steal a book, too. Like, I need you, like, on the DL, we're totally going to steal a book, and that's why I'm offering to go with you. Yeah. It's like, all right, I'll just be blind when we pass by where the book is. You can totally have that. So, like... Gondo is my new favorite NPC. Mm-hmm. Like he's important enough to be in the opening theme. But it's one of those like, oh yeah, all these side characters who aren't Nazarick people. Like, yeah, there's quite a few of them. I like most of them. Like currently it's like, oh no, that guy. I appreciate that guy. Man, I hope he makes it out the other side of this alive.
I do too. But as you were saying that too, speaking of them, that's pretty much the end of what goes on in 5.
Yep.
Then in 6, we got the dwarves trying to fight, and they were shutting that door a bit late. And I know they were saying, oh, there's still some soldiers out there, which I don't think we saw any dwarves out there. It's like, dude, shut the door. You barely got it shut in time.
And again, I think for that, we go back to animating something by hand versus CG animating it. Yeah. So that I'm okay with not actually seeing dwarf corpses when we saw Quaha corpses too.
Yes. And I like the Ains to the rescue of, so do you want some help? I can help you out. There's no big deal. It's fine. Oh, okay, sure.
So I took care of that other attack out of the goodness of my heart, such as it is. But like, now I'm going to need you to actually pay for my services. I want to be friends with you.
I gave you the free sample.
I gave you the free sample. I don't really want to trade with the Quagua because I don't think they really get trade. And plus, I'm interested in your runesmithing and they don't do that. So, like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'm not taking no for an answer. Like, I want to do trade with you guys. I want equipment from you guys. And I want all of your runesmiths and I'm taking them back with me. course I'll agree to welfare checks. I'm like, no, I'm here. Like, no, that makes sense. Like, yeah, if you want to send some dwarves down to check and make sure they're doing fine, sure. Yeah, they can come.
I love their council meeting where they seem so responsible and respectable while he's there, and then when he steps out, oh my gosh, did you see?
I could have died. All of them freaking out.
You're just won over by booze and like alcohol. It's like,
and then the general back here, like, y'all, if we don't accept his help, we're gonna die. Yeah. We are going to die. And then he turned around and sweetened the deal with, yeah, I'll get your ancestral kingdom back. Like the original capital city of your kingdom. Yeah, I'll just go get that back. No big deal. No big deal. We'll leave right now. Can my lizard man stay with you? Great.
Yeah, we'll trade. We'll borrow people right now. I understood what he meant, but I didn't quite interpret it the same way. How Gondo felt the dwarves letting all of the runesmiths leave there meant that nobody cared about it, because yes, you're not doing the runesmithing in the kingdom, but you're still people of that kingdom. You're just doing it somewhere else.
Yeah,
and you can come back later.
But it's also very much like, this has been our tradition for so long. This has been
out.
But again, just
almost.
If you're really into your traditions, if you value your traditions like Gondo did, and very specifically said, I want to carry on my family name, I want to teach this to my kids, like this particular tradition, this particular thing that his people, his lineage that they do is extremely important to him. And so seeing the people who run the city essentially throw it out like it doesn't matter, like even if you are going someplace that will supposedly allow you to continue and encourage you in the craft and support you, it's still very much this is my thing, this is all of our thing, and you've all decided that this very important thing that helps define who we are is no longer important. It's a change, and it's also confirmation that the people up top really just do not care anymore. And so even though it's a change even though he's getting the support from Ainz, it still hurts that he's not getting the support from people who should be supporting it in the first place.
Yeah, I agree more with that part, because it also makes me think like Asgard. It's like, just because the Asgardians are in a different spot, that's Asgard wherever they are. So just because they're leaving there doesn't necessarily mean it's the end. Because it'd be like, you come work for me and never leave. I didn't quite get that vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like they'll come back, and it sounds like it's like they're going off to master's degrees. They're going to go like master this thing, and then they could come back later. So,
but it would also be like, okay, so you're going to go get a master's degree in a thing that,
it should have been done there. Yeah.
It should have been done there. Like, the people in town should have taught you, but the people in town don't care. So they're like, no, we've made a deal with this other person, and he's going to teach you because we're closing down the school here. We don't really care anymore. And it's a school that your dad went to and his dad went to, and you were really looking forward to going to it, and you've heard so many good things about it, and it's very important to you. Nope, done. Because the people who should have cared don't. So
I'm curious how they feel if and when those people then would want to come back.
Who knows? Yeah. Once again, we hit that 200-year range of 200 years ago. A magic caster figured out how to make magical items, and it was easier. So dwarves decided, let's do magic items instead of doing rune crafting. And once again, it's like, it's been 200 years. It's time for another god if the legends are true. So I'm sitting here going, isekai in the past, just writing down every time they talk about something that happened 200 years ago.
Speaking of that, what did you think of Ainz assuming, because the Death Knights are dead, that it must be another player? I get his logic, gravity. But
it's one of those. I think we talked about this a little last time, about how what he wants and what he's looking to do might not necessarily be correct, but definitely colors his actions, and we can see why.
Yes.
And again, going back from the season 1 rewatch, where he's very, very cautious about everything because we don't know who's out there. We don't know if there are other players. So both of his Death Knights being taken out at the same time. If his mind continues to be on, there are other players out there, I'm trying to find them, because that's been his whole arc, his whole storyline is, all of this is to try to find the other people who have been isekai'd here, because he wants to. He probably just wants to find out if there are any and make contact. So
We're 4
much
seasons
of this.
in. Again, I will ask: do you think we will ever see other players?
I think it's a crapshoot.
Yeah,
I'm hanging
I'm
on
like, they
to
could either, because at this point, that's not the point. Like, his quest is the point.
Yeah, I'm very much hanging on to the. They were brought here 200 years ago and influenced the slain theocracy. Like, I'm thinking that's what happened. That's again, that's my bet. That's the likelier theory for me. Yeah, for me, again, it doesn't really matter to me if we see other players or not. The point is Ainz and what he's doing and what everyone around him is doing. So on the one hand, like, dude, the bridge is out. This is where the fight was. Can you maybe think that gravity might have done the job? But we know that from the other side of the fourth wall because we've seen it. If his mind is on players and who can handle a Death Knight, and we've also gotten the little inklings of the bishop talk. Thank you for coming to my bishop talk. When they were talking about how, well, maybe God can handle a Death Knight. Like, I think we're kind of laying the ground for that. So,
do you think gravity destroys them, though? Because are the Death Knights just like laying on the ground or just like walking in the ravine?
I mean,
they're just damage, like, hey, boss.
Fall damage is a thing. Gravity.
They're undead.
Yeah, no, they can't fly though.
No, but that's what I mean. Could they break?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm thinking, is that the impact shattered them. Because the idea of this great chasm is that it's unpassable, and that's why the doors were using it as a line of defense, and why the Quagga finding a way around it is such an issue. So, yeah, no. The heavy implication here is that gravity did it, and that Ainz is assuming a worst case scenario that does not currently exist.
Yeah.
But you gotta do that because someone with a world item did possess Shaltir not super long ago, and they're still dealing with the ramifications of that. So, like, he knows that there are people out there that at least have those items, that level of strength. So he's not screwing around. Not with that.
So we get there, going on the quest to reclaim the capital. What did you think of Aura sniffing the ground? What is she sniffing at?
I want to know what she found. Because her whole thing is,
she was like,
forest, animals, beasts, etc. And she thought it was important enough to bring up, but not important enough to continue on after the whole faux pas of, oh no, I interrupted him. So that is where they were, on the side of the bridge where the Quagga were. So probably something to do with them.
Maybe.
But who knows what? No idea.
And actually, the other interruption that was very entertaining was Shaltir interrupting him, going, I have alcohol. Or it looked like alcohol. Stop talking. I love that. And Ainz, oh, yes.
Because that was also in the middle of his, like, practice dramatic, like, the whole, it's so noisy, I demand silence, was one of those things that he'd been, like, practicing in the mirror as one of his big, intimidating, silence a room things. So the fact that he tried it, and Shaltir just, like, boos, nerds. And again, a little later on in the same scene,
his excitement for his presentation.
The same thing. Yes,
I love that.
He's
like,
I
want to jump up and down. My presentation. Woo!
I had a good presentation. I didn't even need a PowerPoint.
Yes, my flashcards.
Yes, and that is extremely, like, work job. I had to give a presentation and it went super well. Yay! It's just like, yep. I love it. I love it.
He's a salaryman nerd. Yes.
Oh, yes. And again, imposter syndrome, but real.
And yay for the convenience that he was able to avoid all those obstacles. I love Argando letting us know, we have this obstacle. Oh, no big deal. Go through this. And we have this obstacle. Oh, no, really. No big deal. We'll just... Oh, okay. Cool.
The delivery of those lines where it's like, oh, we still have 2 more obstacles after the Great Chasm. And as they're flying over the molten sea with the monsters, there's a molten sea full of monsters. Yep. Just the delivery of, well, I thought this was dangerous, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it worked out great. I'm excited to see what's next because I'm pretty sure our dragons are next.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking. Looks like dragons.
Yes. You had mentioned some other theories, though, on the theocracy, and that it was worth noting because you saw it more recently. So who did they mention that was connected to Shaltir?
There was, again, rewatching season 1, the scene where Shaltir gets taken over by presumably a world item. It's a group of people from the slain theocracy, and while she's being possessed, she turns around and manages to kill 2 of them. And one of them, the woman who cast the spell or used the item that took her over, was the name that was mentioned in the bishop talk about, hey, we no longer have this person. It's a problem. So it's very interesting. Just the purpose of this rewatch for me is essentially going back and tracing all of the steps of the slain theocracy throughout the show. Because to me, this is the main villain that we're going to need to deal with. And also, I'm pretty damn sure that they are the ones that were influenced by the previous isekai generation that I am also pretty damn sure existed. So this has been me sitting back and tracing all of the mentions, all of their actions. They were the ones that initially attacked Carne Village to try to draw Gazef Stronov to kill him. They did this, they did that. So I'm just kind of sitting back going, okay, what have they been up to? In what order? What little details do you miss the first time you watch something that you remember now that we are dealing a lot more with the slain theocracy and the people involved there and good old middle name Zarg? Like, I love it. I will never stop loving it.
Zarg.
Good old Zarg. But yeah, so it's been a rewatch basically just to trace that, because they've been not necessarily in the shadows, but removed from the direct action for so much of the show so far that it's like, all right, what are these names? What are we doing? With the added disadvantage of not looking anything up because spoilers everywhere. And I don't want to be spoiled for light novel stuff.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing when you want to look up a show or a movie or information on a character, and it's...
What was that dude's name? What was that person's name? Well, back the episode up because we're not going to Google it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Because, just their like fandom Wikipedia blurb pops up and it's got like the name, where they're from, and an immediate spoiler. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's really the like,
yikes.
I really want limited information here. Yep.
But so Slain Theocracy rewatch. So I can sit here and go, you've been laying breadcrumbs this whole time, you jerks. Where's the gingerbread house?
Maybe we'll see.
We're
still a bit far out. I think it's going to be a while before we see him again.
I think like next season, because we're getting them maybe making alliances with the Empire, maybe not. I might have messed that up on accident by just showing up for a good fight. But I think now that we're seeing them moving into making alliances, and again, I need to go back and figure things out. And the fact that they mentioned Godkin being able to take out a Death Knight. We had 2 Death Knights die, and Ainz go, someone did that. Someone's out there. We need to deal with that. And the fact that the Godkin that we see, I'm pretty sure pop up in the opening. I think. Yeah. I'd need to go back, and I could be completely wrong on that. But like, we've seen them before. So I do think that we're starting to put those pieces together. We are on it's going to be episode 7 and 8 next week.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Overlord seasons are 13 episodes long. So
we're about halfway-ish. Yep.
Yeah. So I think if we're going to be dealing with that, we're going to get it way at the end of this season, or we're going to set it up for next season. Because everything that happens in the opening, they show us. Like everything that happens in the opening happens in the season. The opening is not shy about that.
Yeah.
So like we've seen Ainz's fight with the Warrior King. We've seen Firebeard, but we haven't seen whoever the heck was appearing on the other side in that shot, whoever the green-hued person was. We know that we're going to the dragons. We've seen them pop up in the opening. We've seen the leader of the Quagga. What we haven't seen, and of course this is me going, who are these people? Albedo fighting someone in red armor, and Cocytus fighting Brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is me going, you best not hurt my boy. I will cause problems. So we'll see. We still have, you got 7 episodes left that we haven't covered yet. There are 7 episodes out as of this taping. There will be 8 as of next week. So we're pretty much over the hump in terms of releases, which means we don't have much time to put the rest of that in. But this is also a show that can do an arc in 4 episodes flat. So we'll find out. We will find out. We might also have a longer season. Like, I doubt it, but we might.
That's true. It's hard. I feel this show doesn't always follow typical patterns on timing of stuff too. So
it's a little wild. And this is also why I keep thinking that seasons are longer than they actually are. Because arcs will be like 4 or 5 episodes and then call it a day. Yeah. They figured the whole arc out. It's been 4 episodes. I'm like, dang. So it's a show that moves very quickly and packs a lot in, but doesn't feel like it. Like there are some shows where they pack a lot in and you're sitting there going, Jesus Christ, that was 1 episode? Like Gonkutsuo and Escaflowne, you really feel the passage of time with those. Like you sit there and it hits the end theme and you're like, how is that only 22 minutes? That was an entire thesis statement. How was it 22 minutes? Whereas this one, like you go through and it's like, oh, wow, they really did just do an entire arc in 4 episodes. Dang. But also like,
but they're dense episodes and there's a lot of talking and a lot of chess piece movement.
Yeah. They're dense episodes, but they don't feel dense is what I'm getting at. Because like,
meaty.
Yeah. Like Escaflowne is dense and it feels dense. I don't know how this show manages that balance, but there is that balance of, we packed a lot in, but we are moving at a clip and it is so easy to digest and easy to work with. Like, again, I think the only scene I had to rewatch to be able to pick up everything they were saying was the Bishop scene. And that's because I spent the first watch through laughing at names.
Like, they had the same problem of the names for the dwarves too. If you watched it, I think in English, because they did a similar thing. I didn't double check in English, but they did the same name thingy.
Man, it wasn't even their names. It was just Master of Brewing, Head of Merchants. Titles.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I like that.
I love that they all looked like their jobs. It was like, okay, you were designed with this specific thing in mind. You are not a character, you are a title. Cool. And I mean, it works. Yeah.
Indeed. There we go.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, that's it for our Overlord coverage for this week. Where'd it go? There we go. Other stuff you should check out if we've been watching, reading, or whatnot of content. A movie I saw that it's one of those, I'm like, this was kind of neutral, like it was fun, popcorn action film, was 355. What platform was that on? It might be Amazon or it might be Netflix. I don't remember. But that's like top female spies from each agency end up having to work together because of, things gone wrong. And it's cool action. They're all fabulous ladies. And if you want to see women kicking butt and being spies and international travel, go for it.
All right.
Plot wise, I wouldn't say it's super deep, but like it's again, fun popcorn action flick.
I'm a Red Notice, honestly. To me, it sounds like similar idea, kind of. Just in terms of it's fun, it's ridiculous. It is deeper than a puddle, but it's not like a thesis statement.
But it's one of those, if you just like action movies and something a little different, if you like any of those actors too, that definitely helps. So I thought that one was fun. Because I was like, I saw another movie, but I'm like, it was okay though.
It's just like,
I don't feel that's quite a recommended one. I'm like, it's one of those. It's unfortunate when movies you kind of are rooting for them and they just really don't quite deliver, and you're like,
yeah,
well, it's okay.
No, I feel that. No, like I said, I think you watch movies the way I watch YouTube all the time and kind of in the background sometimes. Yeah, just a lot of it, which is why so many of my recommendations are YouTube channels. It hasn't been terribly long since our last recording, so I haven't watched much aside from rewatching the early seasons of Overlord, which I do recommend. It's nice to kind of be like, okay, we started here, and this is how far we've come in terms of character development, world development, etc. Going back and forth between the two is a little wild, but it's good. Also, Overwatch Contenders is on. Watch Contenders, support tier 2. You have the professional sounding names in League, and then Contenders teams are named things like Ex Oblivione and a Sleepover Party and Pirates in Pajamas and
Those are really fun names. I like
They're
them.
really fun names. I was particularly fond of Last Night's Leftovers, but I think I haven't seen them around in a while, so I don't know if they're still playing. But like, there's a lot of, because like you have like Uprising Academy, and it's like, okay, it's actually sponsored by the Boston Uprising, it's their team, whatever. But then you have Redbird Esports, you have British Hurricane, I don't think American Tornado exists anymore, I think they split. But you get all these really fun team names and really fun team logos, like Aw Yeah's logo is pink and has the Kool-Aid Man smiley face, because that's legit what they're named after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we have Raspberry Racers. They're just fun names. So show up for tier 2, watch Contenders, and just pick a fun team name and support them. They're fun. It's a good time. It's a very good time. Plus, if you want a preview as to what the meta is going to be once League fixes the patch that they're on, Contenders is pretty good for that. Buckwild Reinhardt play this patch. I kind of love it.
Nice.
So yeah, support Contenders. It's a good time. And like, rewatch Overlord, I guess. That's where we are.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. And also make sure to check out FANVERSATION over on Twitter, as well as we have a Nighttime at the Nerd Bar Twitter. So it's just the initials of Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, but it's NTATNB.
Yes.
But also, here's where you can find us online. Katie, where can people find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is KIAXET. We recently did a video for Ruby Ice Queendom. We've been doing episode discussions there. We also, reaction videos if you enjoy Ruby. I am also on Silver Screams, which is a horror theme channel that I do with my roommate Megan, and we talk about horror stuff there. My recommendation would be the Halloween trailer reactions, because those are some good content, folks. Real good Schadenfreude.
But I'll admit I haven't watched it yet, but now I really want to. The more you keep mentioning, I'm like, that would be fun, because I do love both you and Megan. So I'm like, yes, and watch you get scared. It could be very funny.
It's one of those things where on your own channel, you can always kind of point to like, no, you want to watch this video. You want to watch this video. You want to get like a really good idea of what we're about. Like for the Ruby ones, I keep pulling out season 4 when they introduced like the big Grim at the end of the season. Like, yeah, no, our reactions for that one are stellar. We went nuts. For Silver Screams, I keep talking about the Halloween trailer reactions because, again, if you watch reaction videos to see people really react, Halloween trailers get some very genuine reactions out. Very genuine.
Nice. And you all, I'm like, oh, there it is. Yes, you can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE over on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I posted a video on TikTok from the Dragon Ball superhero premiere. There's some pictures over the FANVERSATION Twitter on that, and over on my Instagram just posted some pictures. So we'll be sprinkling more pictures from that event. It was very cool. Thank you again to Crunchyroll for that. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, such a blast.
Yes, fabulous event. It's like awesome movie, cool event. Overall, super fun experience. And just check out those channels. It'll be a description in the description too. Still, in case you've missed it, we interviewed a couple of the voice actors from that film. So go check out those videos as well. If you haven't seen the movie and want a review, Katie wrote a review on it, so you can check that out, which I will link down below. Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. And again, if you watch this later, we would have loved to chat with you live, but magic of technology and schedules. But leave comments down below or do the live chat, because then we can see that later as well. So cool.
Yes. Goodbye from the past.
Yes, goodbye from the past. We'll see you in the future.
Yeah.
All
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching and joining us. We need like a theme song, something. In case anybody's inspired. No, okay. Just kidding.